Hello, it's the Bad Mini Painter here. So, can you remember? Well, you probably can't. Anywho, 6 months ago or something like that, I said that I would like to do other stuff than just Games Workshop's products because there's so many cool miniatures out there, and it's fun to mix it up. So I bought a bunch of Star Wars Legion, and then I changed my mind. Then I saw this guy, Venom, as a part of the Marvel Crisis Protocol, like Warband, Wargroup miniature game. And honestly, I thought that this model was so cool that I had to buy it and paint it. So this video is probably going to get around 0 views, but that's okay, because this was a really fun and easy model to paint. So Venom is black, he's dark, and a perfect base color for that was, since I didn't prime it black, I could have done that, that would have been easy. But I wanted to use contrast or speed paints for the base color in order to get some help with the highlighting and the shading. So Black Templar from Citadel. I am convinced that Grim Dark from the Army Painter or equivalent from other paint producers would have done the same job, but I use Black Templar. Next I go in and dry brush with the Corvus Black, and this was more to add a lighting effect. So it's not a dry brush, Jesus, I can't speak today, I'm sorry. It's not a dry brush thing in order to emphasize details, but to add a form of light effect on the model. So I go top to bottom, and I added pretty thick. I don't wipe that much paint off the brush. Next I go in with Incubi Darkness, and I do the exact same thing, only with way less paint on my brush. You could probably have left it with just the speed paint, contrast paint, but I wanted the model to be interesting to look at. So again, I dry brush where I would imagine the light would hit from above. And finally, Cantor Blue from Citadel. It's a really dark blue. Not a black blue, but the darkest blue you can get and still call it blue, if that makes any sense. And I do an even lighter dry brush, more selectively. Now Venom has this awesome tongue flapping about, and I wanted it to be pink and meaty. So Emperor's Children from Citadel was the perfect base color for that. I'm using Green Stuff World's Silver Series. That's a really good brush, by the way, so I recommend that. It's not that expensive, and it's really good. It holds up well. Anywho, I decided to shade the tongue with the Caro Burke Crimson from Citadel, and I didn't want the shading to be too thick or heavy, so I used a brush to wipe up the excess, of course. Next I go in and highlight the tongue with the Sickly Pink from AK Interactive. I feel like the tongue is kind of a focus point, mainly because it's the only part of this model that aren't some variation of black or white. Well, everything is a variation of black or white, that's another story. So I go in and highlight it with the Sickly Pink. And to add to some lighting effects, I use Pastel Blue from AK Interactive, and I add it very carefully in select places where I would feel that the light would hit on the model. So it's not a lot of places, but here and there. And again, this brush is absolutely awesome at doing small things, even with paints that has a tendency to be kind of thick, where it's difficult to get clean lines. For the base, and normally I don't do base painting videos because honestly it's kind of boring, but the bases for these models are quite interesting. So this is a urban, kind of like New York front walk kind of thing. So I give it an ash gray and basically do that all over. It's also oddly satisfying painting bases. Anywho, cold white from Vallejo. You can use any bright white. It's just I hate white scar. So because you buy it and then 2 days later it's broken, right? So, well, not fuck it, but don't use it. And what I do is I add highlights to the light points, the pastel blue points. I highlight the tongue, and then I mark up the spider on the back and chest of Venom. And I try to be really careful to not mess up my my paint job. And the same thing with his eyes. They're huge and white. So you want to use a white with a nice coverage, especially because you're painting on top of black. So cold white is definitely a recommendation here. It has awesome coverage. Then I go in and dry brush the base, and I do that with Ghost Gray from Vallejo, but you could use, what's it called, Celestial Gray or any other light gray. I like Ghost Gray from Vallejo because it has this, pale gray color, which is perfect for what I wanted here. And it is basically to emphasize details on the base. Finally, with the black wash, I go in and fill out or do some detail emphasizing on the base. So that's basically where the what's it called, the front wall, the stones come together and the cracks. What's that called? Anyway, doesn't matter. And as a final little step, I paint the base rim black because I found that suitable. And yeah. And this is the final product. Now, this model was super fun to paint and really easy to get what I feel is a pretty decent result. Like when you look at it, you have to be super careful around the spider on his chest. I wish I would have, like watching the video right now, super close up, I wish I would have been a little more clean with my lines. But honestly, I'm quite happy with the end result here. So, if you for some reason liked watching a painting video of something that isn't Warhammer 40,000 or Games Workshop shop related at all, please leave it a like and tell me in the comments if you have other miniature games you think would be fun, because then I'll probably do it. I mean, I'm a sucker for popular opinion. Thank you so much for watching and have an awesome day.